Hi. Now Carrie's here too. Welcome. This is an open door. It's the hour we have set aside to look at an idea in the Course of Miracles and play with it some. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. The guidance for today is to invite direct experience. Initially, there was an idea in my mind that we were going to do something else today, and when I opened it and started playing with it last week, it was flat. I don't know how to put it any other way. It was dead. It hadn't been dead the week before, but it was dead when I went to start working with it for today. And so I've learned, and I closed the book and I sat. And then I opened to lesson 267. And I've been working with it, I don't know, since last Tuesday or Wednesday. Alice is here. Hi, Alice. So the more I've been sitting with it, just being with it, and then yesterday and this afternoon when we listen to the guides, we're going to be listening to a part of the book that they're channeling now, and it's what they're currently doing right now in England in front of a live audience. And a big part of this teaching is making Paul's clearly stating it sent him off kilter. Um, the guides have stepped out of what he's gotten comfortable with, and they're spending a lot more time talking about embodiment and the greater collective consciousness. And this lesson to me has been speaking to me, inviting me anyway to bring the physical form into this work. I don't know how to put it any other way. We've been talking about it, uh, and yet I notice how there's some activity here that will continually state, well, this is the dream and this is duality, and I still have to deal with it and all those other things. And at least when I sit in the energy of this lesson and the way it's working for me, there feels like this opportunity to to dissolve some of that duality even in the dream, if that makes sense, that the words may or may not be coming out right. In any case, what I'm going to do, or what I've been inspired to do, was to read the lesson into our space and then invite you to simply rest in the heart. We did this a little bit when this first started lighting up for me last week. The line that I have been walking around with is peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Just that line. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Forgiveness, when you go to the clarification for terms, is a bridge. When you could use forgiveness as a bridge to take you from perception, the sense of a dualistic world, into truth. Just that. Forgiveness, though it is part of the quote unquote illusion, does not take you into error, but invites you into the direct experience of truth. It reminds us that what we think happened didn't, and it invites us into the other. The guides continually tell us that the other is something we can't imagine, really, a place where separation doesn't exist. So peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. I'm going to read the lesson into the space. I'm going to play an Anya song. Pretty beautiful. I just discovered it this morning. And then I am going to set a timer for 5 minutes of silence. And so the entire the invitation actually is to use this entire next 12 minutes to invite peace to fill your heart and flood your body with forgiveness, however that looks for you. And then we'll open it up for conversation. Yeah. So here we go. My heart is beating in the peace of God. Surrounding me is all the life that God created in his love. It calls to me in every heartbeat and in every breath, in every action and in every thought. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Now my mind is healed and all I need to save the world is given me. Each heartbeat gives me peace. Each breath infuses me with strength. I am a messenger of God, directed by his voice, sustained by him in love, and held forever quiet and at peace within his loving arms. Each heartbeat calls his name, and every one is answered by his voice, assuring me I am at home in him.
Peace found silver waters shine, carrying grace instead of time. The ache is there, but it's not alone. Peace has made this heart its home. Peace found me, and I am whole. Peace found me, restoring my soul. Healing comes like waves so true, bringing me back to you. Peace found me. Peace found me. Peace found me. Healing comes in waves.
5 minutes. My heart is beating in the peace of God. Surrounding me is all the life that God created in his love. It calls to me in every heartbeat and in every breath, in every action and in every thought. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Now the mind is healed, and all I need to save the world is given me. Each heartbeat gives me peace. Each breath infuses me with strength. I am a messenger of God, directed by his voice, sustained by him in love, and held forever quiet and at peace within his loving arms. Each heartbeat calls his name, and every one is answered by his voice, assuring me I am at home in him. So in the midst of this practice, just being with the heart and reminding myself over and over again that these teachings are meant to be applied, not just talked about. And in the midst of it this morning, there was a hiccup. Not my daughter, Richard, my mother. um, and it activated momentarily this sense that something outside of me told me that I was rejectable, unacceptable, that I was easily forgotten. It doesn't even matter. But what was interesting is that within moments, I saw that that had been activated. I saw that energy was being pulled and going out into the world as if there was someone outside that could tell me, that could disturb my peace. And within the practice of just sitting and resting in the heart, and peace fills my heart and floods the body with forgiveness, I brought that energy right back in and allowed a few moments of pain, and it just dissolved. It just dissolved. And now, believe it or not, it's entertaining at the moment. This little story that occurred. Um, and so that's where I am with Rubber Meets the Road this week, and I hand things over to Andrew.
Thank you, Cyndi. Hello, everyone. Love to you all. Great to see you all. Surrounding me is all the life that God created in his love. First sentence. Everything that we perceive with our body, the room we're in, our bodies, our beating heart, the air we breathe, belongs to us because we made it. We made it through our belief, through our first idea, then belief. We may not remember that we made it, but we did. The Course tells us that. So, how do we rise above the battlefield and keep peace in our hearts and minds all the time? That's what this is about, this being in the world, but not of the world. Carrying on with your daily activities and yet not being affected by bad results or things we interpret as bad. It's always being aware that we are one with all we see. And you can always keep in touch with that inner peace, with that awareness. Just have it in the back of your mind all the time. And then just go on with your daily activities. And I think that's what this chapter, this lesson is guiding us towards. Uh, I've looked up the FIP version, and there's a second paragraph that's italicized. It's in the form of a prayer, so I'll just read it and I'll end with that. Let me attend your answer, not my own, Father. My heart is beating in the peace the heart of love created. It is there and only there that I can be at home. Thank you all very much. Thanks again, Cyndi.
Thank you. And that prayer is in the Circle of Atonement edition too. I didn't read it. Don't ask me why, because if I told you why, then I'd be lying. Maybe I just wanted to hear you say it.
Okay. That song that you played was very nice, by the way. I never heard that one.
I hadn't heard it until it showed up to be played this morning. It's brand new to me. Seemed like it was made for this lesson, though. Mm. All right, my energy is moving in your direction, Livy, so I'm just coming right at it. I'm not waiting for the next hand to rise. I'm just going to ask you how this moment finds you.
Uh, the body is tired and it's a good kind of tired. Um, I'm really grateful for that song and for this teaching. I sat with a Kyle Cease video, a couple of them this weekend, and had big release, big releases from the body. Um, they got pretty intense at times and was very, very long overdue and very welcomed. I started noticing that grief was coming up, and instead of allowing it, I had been stuffing it. And the body always lets me know when I'm doing that. And so I got to release a lot of things. I got to see where resistance was coming in, and was able to question the resistance of, do I think I know more than God? Do I think I know what's best for all these people than God? And sitting with that uncomfortableness. And so, yeah, this lesson and that song were just, I could just feel everything just soaking those in. Um, and the ego is so subtle and so interesting. And because it was like, okay, you did all that work, now everything's going to be wonderful, And that's, yeah, glad y'all are laughing because it's pretty funny. And I'm grateful that it's not, I mean, I'm grateful that everything keeps evolving and that I don't have to do this by myself. And I have these wonderful guides, most every day that understand and provide guidance and love. And so I'm just really, it's a good emotion, it's good, and it's cleansing, and I'm yeah, so I just feel really full of gratitude right now. So thank you.
Gratitude feels like a wonderful thing to be full of.
I get that a lot with y'all. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So, hey, Richard, I was just going to say, who in Missouri is going to share next?
Hi, everybody. I love us all and happy Tuesday, or happy Monday. I love this lesson. The reason I was attracted to the course was because it says the purpose of the course is to help you attain peace of mind. And I was in recovery at the same time, and I was dealing with serenity, which I equate to peace. And I really love this. What I found interesting was the Course kept talking about forgiveness. And it mentioned in this lesson also. And I didn't get forgiveness by the course's meaning. I took years. I just stopped doing forgiveness. I focused on love rather than forgiveness. I said, what is this forgiveness stuff? I'm just the love that I am. I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm at peace. And then it was about 5 years ago, I found out my idea of forgiveness was all wrong, according to the Course. And somewhere in the Course, I think it's in the Song of Prayer uh, pamphlet, where it says, forgiveness as we understand it in the world, forgiveness for people attacking us or people attacking others or something not being right in the world, and forgiving is forgiveness to destroy. And the reason it's forgiveness to destroy is because it's reconfirming in the mind that the illusion is real and that we are separate. And that really, I've come to believe that the Course is teaching us forgiveness is accepting everything as it is without judgment. And I know my personal experience is I cannot be at peace if I'm judging anything. The Course teaches us we cannot judge. The real self cannot judge because everything is perfect as it is. It's only our perception that changes our understanding of what we think we are perceiving. And so I love this lesson. I love us all. I love us the way we were able to share our divine manifestation, each of us manifesting the divine differently. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. I'm inspired to go into a little bit more detail about this morning, and it's a simple thing. And I've discovered that when I practice with the simple things, when the big things hit, right, they're a lot easier to sit. There's just this idea that has arisen that my mother really has no interest in me. Isn't it interesting? Like this idea that since I can't do anything for her, she's not really interested in the way I see things, A, and because I can't show up and have dinner with her or play mahjong with her or accompany them to a doctor's appointment, I have no use. Um, and sort of entertained. But one of the things I've noticed over the last couple of weeks is that she doesn't have, like, I can't even get her on the phone for more than a couple of minutes. She just is always doing something else. And today I called at a time she's typically on the phone, typically. And my sister is no longer taking that time out because my sister became a grandmother, all this stuff. And she literally said today, I'm just in the middle of making phone conversations, and there's the dentist. I'll call you right back. And that's a new one, right? And I said, okay, so the conversation didn't take more than 5 seconds. And she didn't call back, right? And I was able to sit. So I didn't really expect her to call back, but I again practicing this space, I allowed this feeling that she did something to me. Look at her showing me that she doesn't want me again. I'm not valuable. She didn't value me enough to remember to call me back, whatever it was. And I had to be in this, I chose in this energy of recognizing that relationships especially are our healing tool. And how cool is this? All this exchange, this 10-second exchange did was activate a sense here of not being wanted, like this feeling of not being wanted, essentially. And the moment I turned it around, so You may have your own example of this, right? In this energy, I turned it around and said, it's here, this feeling of not being wanted, of being, since I can't do anything, no interest. And I started looking at it while being in this statement. The heart is filled with peace and floods the body with the purpose of forgiveness. And then I let it do its thing. And the whole system just got quiet real fast. And the mind just this morning anyway, like it's like wet kindling, the thought of, but she doesn't exist other than as a training tool, right? Relationships are this opportunity to see, what do I think about me? What beliefs are running the show here? And today it feels like it's dying, this sense that I could be rejected. you know, wow, like what a beautiful opportunity to practice, right? And even as I was saying that, and there are people here, their videos are off. Does that mean I'm rejectable? They don't care about me, right? It was a big joke with Rona and I for the longest time. As soon as one of the other person talked, we turn our video off because that was a sign that we hated you, right? So, man, you guys everyone with their video off right now, there's a few, they hate me. They hate me. They can't wait till this stops talking. And then I could look, oh my God, this belief that there are others out there that hate me. I'm hateable. Turn around and look at and you're like, I see Richard laughing, right? But there is energy as I'm saying these things, right? There's energy here that's moving. I don't believe it, but there's a feeling of it here. And I get to be in just this line is working with me. My heart, like I'm allowing my heart to fill with peace. And then it's flooding the body because that's where it's feeling this sense of not being hateable or being rejectable. The peace that's filling the heart is flooding the body with the purpose of forgiveness and letting it do its thing. Yeah. So who else that lives in Missouri wants to share right now?
I guess that would be me. Hello, everyone. Happy to be with you. Oh, and my gosh, it's gorgeous here. High 70s, no humidity. Yeah, so I'm on the porch. Oh, wow. Boy, thank you, uh, Cyndi, for what you just said. And unfortunately, being out here, they were doing their monthly testing of the alarm, but I did get the gist of it. And I had my older sister, over for dinner last night. Dean and I did. She hasn't seen our new house. And I was grateful for these tools because um, working on that. And what you said, Richard, with the judging, oh my gosh, I have been major judging lately. And I can feel it. And I'm not happy with myself because, I'm trying to work on this love everybody. And it's been hard these last couple of days. So this morning, I allowed myself to sleep in. I pet sit at my son's house, so sleep wasn't the best. And I decided instead of getting on my morning AA meeting that I would just have a lot of quiet time and do a lesson out of the training wheels and then read today's lesson for our group. And I really enjoyed that because I'm finding that if I don't do this in the morning, I just get too busy or I make myself busy. And that's on me too. And I really, really need to start the day off on a right tone. And so I was grateful for that this morning. And I, when you played that song, I had to find it. So I have it now in my saved songs. Beautiful, beautiful. But you really said about the rejection. I think that's what I'm struggling with right now. And now with my sister, I love her, and I like that we are not separate. It's just hard for me when she tells me something that I have to question it. Is this really true? Because she has a tendency to lie and manipulate, and she's always the victim. But last night I attempted to do it with an open eyes and open heart. So I felt better, but I still judged. So, it's, practice not perfect, progress not perfection. Um, and yeah, so I really had to work on that rejection because I'm dealing with that. Something else is coming up soon. And do I go here? Do I go there? Who am I going to hurt? And it's all about taking care of Julie, but I always put myself last because I have to take care of and make sure everybody else is going to be comfortable. And so thank you. Thank you for what you had said regarding your mom and sisters. And yeah, and I just got to remember we're all one. And that song was beautiful to remind me of that. So thank you for calling on me. And yeah, I'm just going to soak in this beautiful day because who knows how long this weather will last. And listening to the birds. And it's a great day to be alive and to be with all of you and to feel your love. So thank you.
Thank you. One of the things I've done since this lesson called me into it, sometime at the beginning of last week, is actively just took some time, upwards of 30 minutes some days, to do nothing other than rest in the beating heart. And it was a very interesting thing to notice how often that was hard because there were a lot of things that are covering it, but just gently, really gently, 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 not having any other practice or process or needing to do anything, but can I find and just be with this beating heart? So I offer that to you, to replace the have tos and the shoulds that sort of was part of what you just shared. Being is a lot more fun and effective, actually. Hey, William.
Well, good morning. I tell you, see, I think I love being in the sunshine. So great. But you know what? I just love the clouds. And last night was a good example. My wife and I, and it just didn't feel good. And what I see looking back, there's that competition. There's that, and I love certain words. They just bring it home to me. The tyranny of likes and dislikes. Wow. The tyranny of competition. There's no cooperation. I want my way. She wants her way. And I just lost it. And so we agreed at least we know enough to let's take a break because we're just spiraling down. And it's so easy for me to do that. Well, then I go and I spend about 3 hours reading the course, reading Ishwarn's, reading the mantra. Wow, it just pointed me, look within, look within, look within, look within. And what I see, some of the words just jump out at me and grab me, like the words, the age of loneliness. I've shared that lonely. What is lonely? What is lonely? Well, it's going beyond the likes and dislikes back into the sunshine. But I tell you, those likes and dislikes, and this time I want to be right. Man, I just stay out under the clouds until it's so painful. So what I'm saying is that, see, when I'm grabbing a hold of what I'm so used to, competing one up, one down, one up, one down, it's such a relief and a freedom when I recognize it, let go, and I'm in the sun immediately. Just feel it. And this morning, it's so, when my wife greets me with a big smile and says, ah, and immediately we're in the sunshine together. But you know what? That 3 hours or whatever it was where I looked at all my likes, dislikes, I was drunk on that. Well, that's what happens. And I say this without even apologize for it. That's just what happened. And and I like the freedom that's coming of when I see that the likes and dislikes, they're just it's a game I've played all my life and I'm really good at it. Just like I've won a lot of tournaments, I'm pretty good at that other. So, so either I can keep trying to change someone else, or I can look at what is the truth here. And so I like the next lessons, 268. Let all things be exactly as they are. That's including me in the moment, and then recognize it. So I feel the freedom of that. I don't have to go battle. I don't have to put on my armor. And I love it when people share how they get caught up in their likes and dislikes because I've got every one of them. So we just expose the shadow side of all of it makes it so much easier to find the sunshine. So I appreciate you all doing all that work for me and vice versa. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's just great having this playground here. I love it.
Thank you, William. Livy.
I'm just wondering if y'all would mind if I shared with you what came through this
Please.
weekend. And this is what, after listening to one of the Kyle Ceases and in the middle of the releasing of a lot of emotions, and I heard this really clearly, and then all of this just came because I was dealing with a lot of stuffed childhood pain. And so what came up was you're allowed to do it wrong. You're allowed to make a mistake. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to be imperfect. You're allowed to be scared. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be different. What you trust in isn't wrong. What they trust in isn't wrong. God validates you and all of this with and in love because that's what you are, love and joy, just like when you arrived. Because everybody told me I was one of the happiest babies they'd ever seen. You don't have, up until I was like 2, you don't have to be someone else or be like someone else to be enough, to be lovable, and to be worthy. There's resistance to allowing Emily and Leela their experience and their pain. Do I think I love them more than God? There is fear. Fear is allowed and loved. Do I think my way is better than God's? What if it's too painful to watch them go through their thing? Emotional pain is welcome here and is loved and is loved. You are allowed your experience. So that's what came through. And it was kind of what I've been looking for was a long time, was just permission. So that was very healing for me. So thank you for letting me become naked for a minute in front of all of you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Andrew.
Thank you for all the shares. While I was listening to the shares, something came into mind, a thought came to me, and uh, well, William Shakespeare said the world is a stage and we're actors on the stage. Uh, some holy book said the script is written. I don't know if it's a course or the Bible or something, but so we're living in a story. The script is written. We're actors, and what makes us uncomfortable is we forgot the script, so we're all improvising. So we're improvising, but we're in a story, and we're afraid because of that. If we just keep our mind on the fact, part of our mind on the fact that this is a story we're acting out, we forgot the script, we forgot the words, so we're improvising, and that's the best we can do. We're doing the best we can do, but we don't have to worry because this is only a story. It doesn't affect ourselves at all, our big self, capital S. That's what came to me as I was listening to all the shares. And thank you all for sharing.
Thank you. Um, I've got a very tender heart right now, and I don't I don't remember when I met everyone, so I don't know who knows whom. I um I got a message on Saturday that somebody on this path transitioned, and that's Isabel Crowley. I don't know who here knows Isabel. I think John does, and Richard, and um, it was time. You know, she's been weakening, and she was surrounded by family, and um, Bernie is her sister, if you know Bernadette. John, you know who they are, right? Bernadette and Isabel. There was a period of time where I realized that I was hanging out with only Canadians. Um, but I wanted to let people know she's a being that was just so peaceful and gentle and fragile and open. And it was kind of neat that her obituary included the fact that she had been studying the course for 30 years. And how often do you see that? But I wanted to let people know we haven't seen her in our rooms in a number of years. She was in a lot of pain, you know, so the idea of sitting in front of a screen just wasn't working. But it's a tender heart. It's reminding me that I've been on this path for a lot longer, linear time-wise, even than I have a good grasp on because I'm spending more and more time in the present moment. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you that. And invite anyone to come back at 3 o'clock for the guides. It's powerful teaching about embodiment and this word replendency, I think is the word. I don't know. It'll be fun to do that with you this afternoon.
Cyndi, did she used to come to coffee on Wednesdays with oh,
With
okay.
what? There are people she's a very frail, thin woman. 92. She'd been
Oh,
in her body for 92 years. I don't think you're thinking about you're thinking about someone from California. This woman is she's not too far from me in Canada. Yeah. But she is part of the original Coffee with group and presenter series and Living in Purpose and the 40 day, like all of that. And she's the only person like from this group that I ever fit. Like I hung out with her in Boston during the Course in Miracles conference. So I used to like to say she's one of the few people I ever got to physically hug. Yeah. Hi, Amy. Now that you're there, would you like to share anything at all about what's going on in your world right now in this lesson? And
Oh, just I've got somebody working right up above me. So, and I just wanted to just call out that there are a couple of words in this lesson that really pull me, and it is surrounding me. The word surrounding.
Mhm.
And that means everything, everywhere, inside and outside, no exceptions. And it's all a life that God created, not that I created, but that God created. And it calls to me in every heartbeat, every breath, every action, not some actions and not some others. It calls to me in every thought, not some thoughts, but all thoughts. And so when we spend time really living in the moment and we we hold to the lesson that John's going to talk about tomorrow. Giving and receiving are the same. Is that what our lesson is? I don't give myself bad thoughts. They just arise. And what I do is become aware of them and how they make me feel. And then I give them back to the source from which they came, right? I don't have to take ownership of them or feel guilty about them or change them or do anything with them. I just have to be aware of them as God's being and give them back gently from where they came. Right? But when I grab a hold of the thought and I feel responsible for it, and I think it's my thought, that's when all the trouble begins. Right? So I just offer that. All thought is either of God or not of God. Right? So why are some thoughts like selfish thoughts or guilty thoughts or whatever, why are those only mine? Right? It's such hubris on the part of the ego, Oh, I should be punished for that thought. Well, there's no separate me. Right? So it's just a movement. And I label it selfish or bad or guilty or hateful or whatever you want to label it. I mean, have a field day with labeling it, but let it move through you and give it back. Just give it back. It's like the constant breathing and in and breathing out. Right? Just let it move. So that's all I have. And the more I do that, the happier I am.
Yeah. I was listening to you, and we get to this place where when we really accept that the truth is true, it becomes simple. And there has to be this level of letting go to make it that simple. But I really got the simplicity of just being the practice. Like the truth is true. And Carol Howe is who we're going to be talking about on Thursday. And I got a message from Sandra sometime this weekend that said, "Thank you. I just listened, and I love going back to I think she said something like, I love going back to the beginning of the course." And Carol Howe was friends with Bill Thetford, and she has worked with millions of people over the years, but she keeps it very, very simple. So it's really Course 101. And there could be a part of your brain that as you listen to it that says, I already know this. But the thing is, you may know it, but are you practicing it? Are you living with it? Are you accepting that every one of your relationships is this beautiful training tool? Or has the mind told you to skip over that to something more complicated while you're still being banged up in your relationships? So I'm looking forward to the simplicity of these teachings in our discussion on Thursday, and just what Amy was saying. If we could take every one of our thoughts, it's every thought, it's every action, it's every heartbeat, it is everything. The simplicity of that um, is stunningly beautiful, isn't it? Thank you.
It's good to see everybody. I hope you all had a great Fourth. Mine was very quiet and good. Yeah, just nice and quiet. And it's so lovely to feel the air is a little bit cooler. I know we'll get more hot air, but I'm with Julie. I really I love it when there's almost no difference between the temperature on your skin and the temperature in your body. It's like it's, yeah, it's a lovely feeling. So we'll see everyone at 3. Thank you, Cyndi. Thank you, Andrew.
Mm. But we
Thank
do
you
have a few
all.
more minutes, and John hasn't spoken yet, and Alice hasn't spoken yet, and Lonnie hasn't spoken yet, and Chuck hasn't spoken yet. So, who of those people want to at least share their voices with us?
Just want to say grateful to be here and love you all.
Thank you, John.
And I'm not, yeah, thank you. I especially like the stuff about allowing that. I mean, that just struck right there, right. I needed that. Thank you.
John unmuted.
Yeah, I just want to thank Amy, who reminded me about the 4th of July. I got this quote from this guy, Benjamin Franklin. And what he said was, the doorstep to the temple of wisdom is a knowledge of our own ignorance. And I think whenever those thoughts arise, or whenever I get ideas of rejection, can I just remember, that's my ignorant part, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that because it's just pointing me back to my love of understanding. Because the other guy wrote another quote which I like to share, which is top of mind today. It says, "The mind is a temple of knowledge. The heart is a temple of understanding. And the soul is a temple of wisdom. Together, they are a temple of enlightenment." And I kind of like that, we're on the road to enlightenment here, Cyndi, with all our projects going on, and everybody's showing us a different facet. So I'm so grateful, and thank you for calling on the people who didn't speak.
Thank you, John.
And I was really interested in seeing after my weekend what this lesson was going to bring to me. And I realized as you read it that I walked this lesson this weekend. I was with my family, the children that I raised. I let them know the first 24 hours that my one and only goal was to have fun and to not fall into the old role of problem solver and fixer of everything. And I empowered them and told them, when you see me doing that, just let me know. And probably within 3 hours, one of my nieces says, "Lonnie," and I looked at her, she said, and I stopped and I breathed and calmed down. They only had to speak to me one other time. But I like to look at things in landscape. And I was invited to a party with old friends on the 4th, and we went. Even though the family was there, we separated. And I found myself walking into a room with someone I had vowed to never speak to or see again. And that person saw me walking in the door and didn't know I saw them. And they scooted out the back door. And this little thing came up inside me like a cat with a mouse because we saw the fear. And we just so wanted to play with his fear, to just fuck with him. And I went and sat at the bar with everybody else, the little kitchen bar, and everybody sharing. And some of the kids that I've also been a part of raising were there. Everybody was just being, and after about an hour and a half, like he was really kind of put out, he stayed outside by himself for an hour and a half before coming in. And the minute he came in, all of that desire to play with his fear was gone. There was a clarity in, while I may not necessarily prefer to be in his presence, he had done nothing to me. Yeah. That what had happened. And when I look at the big picture, ultimately was for the good because it freed me. There was nothing to forgive. Mm. And it ended a 30-year relationship with someone, his presence. But even that, it was still nothing to forgive. I'm here. And I kept getting these urgings to be still, be still, be still, be still, be still. And I was able to actually have a conversation with him and not be a nasty bitch, which was awesome. And I left and I went to shake his hand. He says, "May I have a hug?" I was reluctant, but he can give me a hug even though I wasn't ready to give him one. No problem. So I have to tell you that the more I was told, be still, I kept, if not talking, getting up and doing things. And I get home last night and I'm ready to relax. And everybody that came home with me piled into the house and passed out. And I go to crawl onto my bed. And as I lifted my left leg, I was so relaxed. My entire knee dislocated up onto my thigh. And yeah, I started screaming because the pain was excruciating. And my brother came, they all came rushing in. I have a nurse, one of my kids is a nurse. They all came rushing in and they reset it for me. I know I have a 5-minute window. But once it was over and the tears had stopped because it hurt like hell, I sat back with a conversation in God and said, fine, I'm sitting still. Fine. And so today, that is what I'm doing. I'm listening to the body. I'm listening to the divine. I've been asked to be still. I recognize that we traveled a long road this weekend, but maybe we just need to process it. So it's where I am.
Thank you for you. I'll leave it at that. I love us all. Come on back if you can in a little under 2.5 hours. And if not, John is facilitating tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. And love us, I do. Bye-bye.